Welcome to the Newsa-Cast YouTube channel. These Red Smith Banquet throwbacks are exclusive interviews of sports legends, powerful media personalities, and influential coaches. You won't find these anywhere else. Subscribe below and enjoy. Well, Tosh, this is a classic Red Smith Banquet throwback. 1988. An absolute legendary football player, from the 50s, from the 60s. Baltimore Colts, Art Donovan.
Yeah, I mean, not only, let's face it, not only a legendary football player, but a legendary personality.
Yeah.
You remember him on David Letterman show. I think he appeared like 10 times on the Letterman show. Johnny Carson, the Tonight Show, and he would have everybody in stitches laughing from the get-go. Just, bigger than life personality.
After you hit subscribe right below you on this YouTube, check out some video of Art Donovan. Classic East Coast accent. You're right, Tash, a personality bigger than life. So I got to tell you guys a story about Art, and this is 88, Tash. You and I graduated high school in this year. My dad was the chairman of the banquet, and I remember Art Donovan coming, and Art got in. So the banquet was on Tuesday. Art got in on Sunday, and part of Art's contract, Art was one of the Miller Lite guys. That's how he came to come here. In his quote contract, he needed an 18-pack, a case and a half of beer every night. So Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday night, then he left Wednesday. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, he needed, room service had to deliver 18 cans of beer for Art Donovan. He would just crush those and hold court. So he had the suite, one of the suites at the Paper Valley Hotel overlooking Jones Park. And I can remember this vividly. Bob Lloyd was there and Art Donovan, and he's just sitting there telling stories of the good old days of the 60s and the 50s and just playing NFL football and just crushing beer. And he was one of those guys. I mean, it's not like he was just getting drunk and getting lit. He was just Art Donovan, just holding court, telling stories. And it was just one of those nights that obviously it should be a forgotten and never forgotten, Tosh. It was that good.
Yeah, these guys who played during that time, just it's amazing because they weren't getting paid a ton. Many of them worked other jobs, and the stories that can tell, you're going to hear these stories with Art Donovan during this throwback. I mean, it's absolutely fantastic. And go back and check out some clips of him. He is a bigger than life character. He was.
Absolutely. Get a towel for your eyes because you're just going to laugh. It's Art Donovan, folks. Enjoy. It's one of our favorites, one of the best throwbacks we've had to date. Art Donovan.
50 with the Baltimore Colts after graduating from Boston College. Played in what's been called the greatest football game ever played, the 1958 Colts New York Giants championship game. Artie was named All-Pro 4 times during his career, which ended in 61. And in 68, he was named to the Football Hall of Fame. Just last week, he was on David Letterman talking about what he likes to eat. He's been on a number of times with Johnny Carson. The guy does a tremendous amount of work all over the country for charity. So let's give him a big Red Smith welcome, Artie Donovan.
I had to go too. Now, Father, if you want to leave the room and rep him, I think you better go right now. Because you're saying, what the hell am I doing here with all you people who talk as funny as I do? As you can tell now, I'm out of Baltimore, and I was there for 37 years, but my name is Art Donovan, and I'm from the Bronx in New York City. And actually I have the name of Arthur J. Donovan. I'm an Irish Catholic. And I went to an Irish Catholic school, parochial school, and a church called St. Philip in the Bronx. And the pastor of St. Philip is an old priest named Father Muldoon from Ireland, very sharp with a pen and pencil. And in our parish we had 2 kids. a kid named Charlie Moran, who was a cripple boy and he had to use crutches to get around, and his best friend, a kid named Jimmy O'Toole. Well, they were always pulling some kind of a prank on Father Muldoon with the name of Moran and O'Toole. They were in pretty good shape. So one morning, Father Muldoon's in his room in the rectory, and he hears this awful noise going on downstairs in the altar. So hurriedly he puts his cassock on, goes running down to the front of the church. Here's Jimmy O'Toole, cripple boy Charlie's best friend. He's on, Father Muldoon, Father Muldoon. So Father says, "My quiet down." Jimmy rebuckled, quiet down, tell me what's wrong, what happened? He says, "Father, something terrible happened in the back of the church." He said, "What is it?" He said, "Charlie Moran just blessed himself with the holy water, and he threw his crutches away." Now Father Muldoon, he gets all excited, stops, bless himself, genuflecting, says, "Basically, a miracle happened in my parish. A miracle." He grabs a hold of Jimmy, says, "Tell me, Jimmy, where is old Charlie? Where is he?" Little Jimmy looked up at Father Muldoon and said, "Where the hell do you think he is, Father? He's flat on his ass by the holy water." Say, not as I do. Now we also have a lot of Italians. You know, Italians sometimes, these Italians in here, a lot of guys belong to the mafia. And we had one old Italian man, really a bad actor. He was a Shylock in the neighborhood. He didn't get $10 at the end of the week. He got 150 back, you see. So he was dying, and the priest went in to give him the last rites of the Catholic Church, and the doctor went in to see him, you know, he's still alive, laying in bed with his head, eyes up in his head. So they came out, and the doctor says to his wife and 2 sons, "Well, your father can't last another 6 hours, he's gonna die." The priest comes out and says, "Why don't you go in and see your father and say goodbye to him, because he's on his way." So they go back in, they say goodbye to their father, kiss him goodbye, and he's laying there with his eyes rolled up in his head. They come out, and the mother says to the 2 sons, "You gotta go in and ask Papa where he hid all the money. There's no bank account, see?" So the 2 sons go back in and say, "Papa, you gotta tell us where you hid all the money." And the old man, he goes like this. They don't know what the hell he's saying, see? So he lives another 6 hours, they go back in again and say, Papa, you gotta tell us where you hid all the money." He does the same thing. About 2 weeks later, miraculous recovery, he's up around, he's sitting a typical Sunday afternoon Italian meal. The whole family's around, he's at the table, and the son says, "Papa, when you were dying, and we asked you where you hid all the money, and you kept doing this to us, what do you mean?" He says, "I was too weak to do this." And then we had a lot of Jews around there. Well, you know, we had a lot of Jews. And one kid's name was Lefty Weisberg, one of my best friends. In the Second World War, I came home from the South Pacific from the Marine Corps, and Lefty came home from the Air Force. And Lefty was shot down by the Germans. He spent a year and a half in the Starlight. So anyhow, you know, he was one of really the only Jewish kids in my neighborhood that drank. And we're over in the bar, the neighborhood bar, and we're drinking pretty good, and we're getting half drunk, and here comes a Chinaman in the bar. Oh, I never saw a Chinaman in our neighborhood, you know? So I said, "Where are you from?" "We knew he was from China." He says, "I run the hand laundry down the street." So we shake hands, introduce ourselves, you know, we're drinking pretty good. All of a sudden, Lefty jumps up, hits this chin to shut in the mouth, knocks him flat on his ass in the bar, you know. The Chinaman said, "What the hell you doing that for? I thought we were friends." Lefty says, "That's for Pearl Harbor." And the Chinaman says, "I have nothing to do with Pearl Harbor. I'm Japanese, I'm Chinese, that was Japanese." And Lefty says, "Yeah, Chinese, Japanese, Vietnamese, you're all alike, you see." So we shake hands, we start drinking again. About an hour later, the Chinaman, he jumps up and hits Lefty a shot in the mouth, knocks him flat on his ass. And Lefty says, "What you doing that for? I thought we were friends." He says, "That's for the Titanic." Lefty says, "I'm Jewish, my name is Weisberg." "That was an iceberg." And the Chinaman says, "Yeah, Greenberg, Weisberg, iceberg, you're all alike." Can you imagine my mother sitting in heaven looking at me making a fool out of myself here? I gotta tell you one more, then I get into a few football stories, then I'll sit down. But in Southern Maryland, in a big Baptist church, everybody's black. Black Baptists, I guess, I don't know. I don't think they're Lutheran, are they? Well, anyhow, we're down there, it's a Sunday afternoon, and this thing, that Baptist minister, this black minister, he's giving a fire and hellstorm speech about being saved by the Lord, and it's a packed house, even the balcony's packed. And in the front row of the balcony is a good-looking black boy. Oh, boy, this is really good. So anyhow, she jumps up in the air, she says, I've seen the light. And then she falls over the balcony, and she's laying upside down over the balcony by the one rail, and the dress comes over her head. And she's got nothing on underneath the dress. So the pastor says, anybody who casts his eye on that woman's body may be struck down blind. The little black guy walks out and says, I'll take a chance with one eye. But we used to come up and play Green Bay all the time. And we first went, and that was like 1957, 58, we're getting pretty good. And we stayed at the Northland Hotel. And you had to walk by the prison to go to Catholic church. So we walked by the prison, they all holler, we hope you get beat by 100 points. And they say, we hope they keep you in there forever. You know, and then we go to church, and there's about 22 of us Catholics, we're all good Catholics, but we're Catholics. And then the priest gives a sermon. He says, now let's all say a special prayer that the Packers beat the hell out of the Colts. He says, screw this guy, don't put any money in the basket. Beautiful. When I even prayed against in the church, you know. But like we came up here one time to play the next exhibition game down in Milwaukee. It was the last exhibition game of the 50 season. And we played, I remember Tony Gamadeo played, Paul Crispin and all these guys. And the plane didn't go to the next day, so we stayed in Milwaukee overnight. We were having a bar, having a great time. Anyhow, we had one guy who was a real macho man. His name was Sisto Laverna. He was from University College in Pennsylvania. Sounds like a disease. Well, anyhow, we're leaving the bar like 3 o'clock in the morning. We all go to the men's room, but he's got to be real smart. He's got to go outside behind the bar and go in the bushes, you know. Here comes a car around the corner. These 3 guys jump out. They got 10-gallon hats. They're sheriffs. And the one sheriff says he has a gun on Cisco. He says, son, if my wife was with me, I'd shoot you dead. And we're all hollering, shoot him, sheriff, shoot him. He's no goddamn good anyhow. We had some great times. We played against this guy, Jimmy Taylor. And I didn't know who he was. He was a rookie, see? And the guy playing on me, I beat him, and we're rushing the quarterback. I don't know who it was. Bart Starr. And this guy hit me a shot under the eye, and down I go. And I look up, and I says, I'll get you. And he's looking down at me with no teeth. So I said to Marquette, I says, hey, what? Who's that guy? He says, I don't know. He's a rookie. So I said, well, I'm going to get it the next time I get a chance. Next time I hit him a shot, down he goes. I said, I got to get one up on him. So in about the 4th quarter, we're winning the game. I give him another shot, down he goes. I'm walking off the field with a man from Baltimore who came to see the game, and somebody taps me on the shoulder. I turn around, and it's Taylor. Bam! He hit me a shot. He said, now we're even. We went to training camp. We were all a bunch of big guys that really enjoyed each other's company. And we had one guy, a defensive right end. His name was Don Joyce. Well, they talk about sanity as a very thin line. But Joyce is on the other side of the line. Joyce is bad. He got a stinker in his eye, you know. And when you watch him, you gotta watch him because he hit anybody getting near him. Anyhow, we're up training camp, and the guy says, who do you think's the biggest eater on the team? I said, what are you talking about? So I say Southern Fried Chicken. I says, oh, Joyce can eat more than anybody else. The guy says, no, Marquette. I said, for $100. So we have $100 on the chicken eating contest. And 2 other guys, they bet $100, you know, so there's 3 of us bet $300. So on a Sunday afternoon, we go over to the dining room at Western Maryland College. By the way, Pastor, it was a Methodist school. They treated us nice there. They had steak only on Friday. That's a true story. That a guy, you know, we missed the steak every Friday. So anyhow, this one guy had was Catholic. He said to the girl, "Put 2 steaks in a soup bowl and smother it with gravy and bring it back to me." And the waiter brought it back, and he looked down at the steak and says, "All right, start swimming, start swimming." So anyhow, we had this chicken contest. Everybody leaving the coaches. Marquetti and Joyce started eating the chicken. Well, anyhow, Joyce, he's eating the chicken, mashed potatoes, and peas. So Joyce said, "Don't worry about the peas and the mashed potatoes. Eat the chicken." So after 2 hours, he gets serious now. He's eating bones and all. So Marquetti gets the 26 pieces of chicken. He says, "I can't eat anymore." So Joyce is like 25. So 2 more, we win. He says, "I'm still hungry." So we ate 36 pieces of chicken. But the only thing we wouldn't let him do was drink anything, you know, to fill his stomach up. And in front of him, we had a big pitcher of iced tea. So after the 36 pieces, he says, "I gotta wash this down." We said, "Hey, it's the iced tea. We don't care now if he blows up. We want to bet." And with that, he reached into his pocket and pulled out 3 pieces of saffron and dropped it in the iced tea. He was watching his weight. He only weighed 285. we had guys. I don't know how long you want me to go because. All right. Well, how we had.
Nobody can leave here because of the snowstorm.
All right. Well, we had a guy that played left linebacker for us, a guy named Bill Pellington. Maybe have been the dirtiest football player that ever played the game of football. This guy was he was big. And George Wilson, the coach of the Detroit Lions in '57, put out a bonus on Pellington's head. Anybody got him or did probably harm to him got $2,000. See? So anyhow, we're playing the Lions of Baltimore the first game of the '57 season, and Bobby Lane is the quarterback. So anyhow, they got a guy named fullback named Tom the Bomb Tracy. And we put a lot of pressure on Bobby Lane. He goes back to throw the ball. He throws an outlet pass to Tom Tracy. Well, Tracy never sees the ball because Pellington tried to clothesline. Hit him in the throat. But he missed his throat and he hit him in the helmet. And this guy's laying on the ground in Memorial Stadium in Baltimore. He's not moving. It looked like somebody shot him, you know? And Pellington's get back in the huddle. He goes, "Damn it," he says, "I hurt my arm on that guy." So when he said I hurt him, this guy's not moving now for 15 minutes. Pellington played 5 plays with a broken arm, and then he missed the rest of the season. So now the next year they outfit him with a steel brace on his forearm. And before the game, they wrapped him with like inch foam rubber. So the officials would go out and feel the foam rubber. So, "All right, you're all right." But before we go out to start the game, he'd take that off and put on like a 1/4 inch. We'd watch him in the movies like somebody going around hitting people with a sledgehammer. Bam, bam, knocking people all over the place. So we go up here to Milwaukee to play Green Bay, and Milwaukee, the Packers had a wide receiver named Billy Howard. I guess people remember, a hell of a football player. And Billy Howard sees what's going on with Pellington on the field. And he came into the Colts huddle and he told the official, "Why'd you give him a gun and let him do a clean job on us?" This is the way it was, and they never did throw Pellington out. Like the guy named Van Flacco was the quarterback for the Rams. And tough guy, he was a little crazy anyhow. And the Second World War was underwater demolition. Blowing up Japanese ships, you know. It's bad enough fighting on land, but in the underwater, you really gotta be crazy. Well, anyhow, we're in the defensive huddle, and Pellington's the defensive play caller, and he calls some defense we didn't even know. We had to stay in the huddle and ask the other guy where we lined up. We didn't know where to line up. So anyhow, the Rams come out of the huddle, and Van Barker's the quarterback, and they say, "Strong right," so Pellington and I moved. He said to me, "You fat bum, you moved the wrong way." So I moved back. I said, "No, you moved the wrong way." And with that, he kicked me. I jumped, I said, "Pellington, don't you ever do that again." And Van Barker, he's trying to call a play. He goes, "Jesus Christ, I can't believe this." He says, here's two professional football players, and they don't know where to line up. He said, "How am I expecting to call a play?" And with that, he called the timeout. grandfather. All of us were big fat guys, you know. And we were playing the Rams out on the coast in 1959, and Rick Eubanks, our coach, had a sneak weigh-in. So anyhow, he fined me $2,000. I was 277 and a half instead of 275. So anyhow, before the game starts, last game of the season, and we had to win it to win the Western Division Conference. By the way, we used to flip-flop with the Packers all the time. They either played the 49ers or the Rams, and we played the other team. So anyhow, right before the game, it's about 120 degrees down on the playing field at the LA Coliseum, and Weed says, listen, if we win the game, and you have a good game, I'll talk to you about your bonus. I said, well, at least give me a shot, you know. So the game starts in the halftime. We got 6 defensive linemen, and we're rotating to keep fresh. Everybody but Big Daddy Lipscomb. He come up with a sore ankle, and he wasn't playing. So I says, hey, Big Daddy, if you don't come in the second half, win, lose, or draw, I'm gonna shoot you. I'm gonna shoot you, because goddamn, I'm gonna die out there of a heart attack, see? So anyhow, in the second half, we start to bust the game wide open. And we scored 5 touchdowns, and the Rams didn't score 1. So it's 2 minutes left to go in the game, and the Rams take their regular quarterback out, and they put in this rookie named Frank Ryan. We didn't even know who the hell he was. So I said, well, thank God he's going to run the clock out. We win the game, we go home. This guy gets the ball, starts running all over the LA Coliseum, throwing 80-yard passes, and we're screaming at him, you stupid jerk. You can't win the goddamn game, run the clock out. And he's saying, drop that, you see. I said, if we catch you, we're going to kill you. I couldn't have gone on the ground on his knees, I was so tired. So finally, with about a minute left to go in the game, I said, the hell with this stuff. And I went to Rams huddle. I said, look, you jerk, you can't win, run the clock out. He looked at me and said, drop that, you big fat old man. I don't know what to say to him. And from our side, our defensive end, Otto Gracie hollers, Fatso, you're in the wrong huddle. And we got covered like 5 yards from me being offside. And I never did get my bonus either. Well, I don't know, I've got some things here where, like, we're talking about the 58 Packer game in Baltimore, rained the whole game, and I think with 2 minutes left to go in the game, we're beating 57-0, and they put a guy in from Honolulu. I guess he was from Honolulu. He looked like a Hawaiian, and he was a quarterback named Joe Francis. And anyhow, he sees what's going on. He wants no part of the game, period. I'm not saying he was a coward, but he didn't want to play. But when he had that moving, the Green Bay Packers start moving down around my 30-yard line, and here he comes out of the huddle, and Pellington's hollering, don't let him score! Kill him! Kill him! You know, Kanaki, he's going on screaming and hollering, and his quarterback, he takes the timeout. And he says to Pellington, I don't want to be out here either. And that was the end of the game. I got it. It was a great game. Just for playing that good. We had a coach named Jimmy Fallon. Excuse me. And Jimmy was from the old school. And we were playing the game against the Chicago Bears in Chicago, in Akron, Ohio. And they had 3,000 people in the stand. So his pep speech was, before the game, we'll dispense with the customary introduction, and we'll go out and meet him in the stands individually. We were on the stands shaking hands, introducing ourselves. So anyhow, before we go on the field, Jimmy gives us his pep talk. We gotta go out and we gotta kill him. We gotta win one game. You gotta kick him, bite him, scratch him, do anything, but we gotta win. He says, let's go. I said, but for God's sake, be careful. That was his speech. I don't know, would you like to ask me some questions? We had some great games against the Green Bay Packers. It was a great rivalry. And for some reason or another, Rosenblum sent the Colts into another division. Excuse me? Amici is one of the finest men I've ever met in my life. A great football player and really a great humanitarian. And he really deserves to be in any Hall of Fame. you have up here, but you got more goddamn clubs in Wisconsin than they got the whole United States. I never heard of these guys with all kinds of Chaminade clubs, this club, that club. We don't have any clubs back in Baltimore like that. The only club we have is go to the bar and drink. And you people do a good job too at drinking up here. Woo! Hey, I'd like to say one thing. Another company does one hell of a job of putting on this banquet with you people from the committee and all the people sitting out there watching TV and downstairs. You got to be some great fans, really, to come out on a night like this and just, that's a great banquet. It's the only thing. It's a darn shame they didn't bring all the people in the back from Oshkosh up here to Appleton. If you're in Oshkosh, you got the tickets all the way in the back, huh? You can't trust these people from Appleton, I'm telling you. Well, anyhow, you know, I think the hour's getting late. Excuse me? The greatest football player that played the game of football. I was on a radio show one night, and a lady called me up and said, you know, you're a buffoon. I said, why? She said, because you can't speak right. I said, hey, lady, if you were from New York, you wouldn't be too damn good either. So when I got home that night, my little, like, 6-year-old daughter says to me, Daddy, that lady called you a buffoon. I said, yeah, Kelly, but at least one thing, you're a big buffoon. And now my wife, she had trouble, you know, with she had to go see a doctor about lady doctor. No, he was a man doctor who took care of ladies. I can't pronounce it, but, you know. Well, anyhow, so I come home that night and I said, I hope you're not going to have an operation. She says, no, congratulations. You're going to be a father again. I'm 63 years old with a 12-year-old daughter. And I drive her down the freeway every morning to school. And everybody starts to, what a lovely grandchild. What a farm. And anyhow, I leave you. I am a little serious every once in a while. About 2 months ago, I went up to Feastville, New York. The FBI agent's former president that were in the Marine Corps had a 2-day Marine birthday. He invited me up being an old World War II Marine. They invited me up to say a few words and to get an award. And I want to tell you something. If I ever had faith in this great country of ours, is when they had 4 Medal of Honor award winners. They had a colonel that spent 7 years in a Vietnamese prison. And when they came in and all these young guys and they paraded in front of the commander of the Marine Corps, I guarantee you, ladies and gentlemen, I was the proudest day I've ever been in America. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Art Donovan.
Please subscribe to this channel, give this video a thumbs up, and hit that notification bell so you get notified when we post another great episode or interview. Download the podcast on Apple Podcast, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you for your support.